item here. This is the Sonia Toscana approach to meals in minutes minus the mystery. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to take some mystery out of it. I want to do this with lots of flavor, so I'm going to use several of the flavored oils. Again, they're all the actual fruit pressed with the olives. It makes them so rich. So I'm going to use several of these flavors in this dish. These are some of the vegetables I'm going to use. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to start with a very simple thing with the onions. Now, I don't have to make these really finely chopped, but I'm going to do a very simple little thing with the onions, cut my wedges, and then I'm going to cut some pieces like this. And this part of the onion, I'm actually going to cook with the chicken. I'm going to start them, kind of glaze them just a little bit, and they're going to pretty much cook down in this process. And then I'm going to have some other onions that I'll cut a little bit different, and you'll see how I do that. I'm going to take just a couple more here because I want more flavor. Onions, really, it's amazing. You can use onions in just about everything you cook, and I think I do. A lot of flavors in onions. And depending on the onion you're buying, a lot of the sweetness that you can get. It's a natural, rich sweetness that you can get out of your onions. So having that done, I'm going to put them in the pan, I'm going to glaze them, and then I'm going to do my chicken. And I'm going to just cut my chicken into very simple strips. Now you notice that I've taken them out of the freezer. I had them frozen flat, take them out of the freezer, cut my strips, and away I go. I don't have to waste a lot of time. I can literally produce this meal in 15 to 20 minutes, pretty easy on an average day, because I've taken the time for a little bit of advanced preparation. And you're going to see it doesn't take a lot of cooking time. Okay, now here's the part of this stir fry that's really kind of cool. You'll notice how much chicken I have here. I have a lot more chicken than I'm going to need for this particular dish. Remember, we're talking about meals in minutes minus the mystery. Let's talk about that mystery. I'm going to actually prepare some extra chicken. This is how we cut a lot of time off the deal. This chicken I've got lots of purposes for it. So I'm going to cut extra chicken, and I'm going to set some aside for another dish that I'm going to do later. But I'll cook up plenty of chicken. But I cook once. Why should you cook a bunch of different times? Every time you start over. If you can actually cook some of it in advance while you're cooking, it's not going to take you any more time. It's very simple. And I'll have plenty of chicken to do the various things I want to do. I'm just going to spread this around a little bit. I've got my onions caramelizing in there. Alright, and I'm going to spread this around. And this will cook very quickly. It won't take long. And when I get to the vegetables, they cook really quickly, because part of the secret of a good stir fry, oops, look at this. Part of the secret of a good stir fry is the fact that you don't overcook your vegetables. We want them hot, we want them nutritious, we want them as close to raw as we can, so we really get all of the flavor and value out of them as we can. Now I'm going to do something real quickly so you know how much oil I used in this. Very simple. I'm going to use, this is the garlic. I'm going to use just a little bit of garlic like this, okay? About that much, don't need much. I'm going to use my white truffle, just a little bit like that, not much. And I'm actually, on this one, I'm going to add just a little bit of spice, about that much. So that's how much I've got in here cooking. So when we come back, and I'm going to show you the vegetables, how we do that. And like I say, overall, this whole meal can be prepared in about 20 minutes. Okay, we got our chicken cooking over here. It's just rolling right along, and it's starting to smell pretty good. What do you think, guys? That smelling good? This is going to be just incredible. You're going to love it. Okay, we got that going. We use our little spoon holder there. That's kind of a fun thing to do. I'm going to show you how you can do peppers, and they're very simple. Lots of approaches to this. I have my favorite approach to it. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to show you how you do this so that you don't get those little tiny seeds all down inside where you've got to pick them out. I actually hold it like this over the bowl. Boom. And if you look in here, there may be a couple of seeds. I don't have to worry about a bunch of seeds. Very simple to do. So I'm going to cut this up. And this is so simple. I'm just going to cut some strips. I don't want to get anything really fancy. I'm going to do both my peppers the same way. I want some strips. I don't have to get all kind of creative. So I'm going to be doing that with my peppers. I'm going to do my onions in a very similar way. I'm going to take my onions and I just want strips. I'm not going to cut these or dice these down. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them this way. What you'll see here is I'll just have my little strips like this. This is going to be for my stir fry. Okay, so I'm going to have these ready to go. I'm going to put them over here for just a second, get them out of the way. I don't want to take a lot of time watching all this stuff while I do it, but to give you an idea. The mushrooms, this is so simple. I'm just going to slice the mushroom. And that is just very simple. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. We're looking for taste here. Okay? The other thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I do the zucchini. These have all been prepared. You do wash them up a little bit before you start. And I'm going to take my zucchini, I'm going to cut it once this way. I'm going to lay it over this way. I'm going to cut it like this, like this. This is so simple. And then I'm just going to cut some pieces like this. Now, one of the things you want to note here is when I put this together, I'm going to put them together all at once. I don't have to worry about different cooking times because the cooking time values on these are all about the same. So it's not going to be complicated at all. And I'm going to put them together and cook them all at one time. Oh, this is getting so good. You gotta love it. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of combining here. Before I do that next step, I'm going to take this, a little of my chicken, not quite half of it. I'm going to take a little bit of it and I'm going to pull it aside. You'll see what I'm going to do with it later. But I'm going to put that in the refrigerator and chill it. And I'm ready to go with my next. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to switch out pans a little bit here, just so that you can get a better shot of what we're doing. Here's the vegetables that are all prepared. And I'm going to put my chicken in first. Now you'll notice that the chicken has cooked nicely, and the onions are pretty much cooked down. There's not a lot of whole onion left in that, which is what we want. We want that sweet flavor from those onions. I'm going to do just a little bit more of the onions julienne style. Let's do just a few of these. And I'm going to sprinkle these in, just like that. Maybe actually a little bit more. Let's just do a little bit more. And here's the beauty of this. You don't have to measure this out. You don't have to be exactly precise on it. It'll all work just fine. I'm going to put these in there. Here we go. Again, if we were talking about a huge restaurant paying a fortune for your meals and whatnot, maybe some of these things you care a little bit more about the details. But guess what? This is a meal that you can do in a matter of a few minutes at home. Total preparation should take about 20 minutes. I'm doing a little bit extra by volume here, because I'm going to feed a few people. But you can do this one meal by itself or feed a family, however you're doing it. Very simple. Now when I cook this, all I want to do with my veggies again is I just want to get them heated up. I don't want to get them cooked. If I get them too cooked, they're going to get mushy. They're not going to have as much flavor and crispness and texture. And you also have a visual thing. There's no reason that we have to, because you're cooking at home and you don't have guests over or whatever, there's no reason it doesn't have to be visually appealing. We want it to look good, we want it to taste good. And this is going to be awesome. You're going to love this. Again, we kind of come back to that point in a minute. You're actually going to see what this looks like on the plate, all finished up. And I love this. You're going to eat well. You're going to live well. You're absolutely going to love it. Just grab a fork and join us.